Hey everyone, I am Yvette Lloyd, host of Life Hurt Podcast. I have Cashé Arrielle here with me today. She is a heart surgery survivor and also a devoted mom, powerhouse PR strategist from Cleveland, Ohio. She is the founder of Purposely Public Agency. She helped women lead brands from going from overlooked to unforgettable through the purpose-driven visibility from launching her impactful community and even events of acting, and such as hit shows like BMF, All the Queen's Men. And she is an amazing, truly multi-creative and a mission to amplify stories, building legacy, and also having faith. Hey, Cashé.
Hey.
Well, first of all, thank you. And finally,
Yes.
you are here because
Yes.
we've been trying to get this booked.
Yes, finally.
But you know, God's timing, he don't miss at
Doesn't.
all. He does not
not.
miss. So I really appreciate you. So you know me, I get straight to the point. So you wore many hats, such as PR strategist, event curator, and also an actress and a mom. But let's start with the beginning. How did your journey in Cleveland go from Atlanta and like shifting back and forth to Purposely Publicly Agency?
So basically, I started back in 2018.
Okay.
I started out as a baker. And I was like doing treats for parties and things like that. It was actually named after my kids. It was Kylie Katie Creations. I used to make like gourmet treats like cheesecake tacos and all type of stuff. And so from there, people that I went to school with, they followed my journey because it actually stems back to my 11th grade year in high school. I was a part of a program called E-City, and they taught us how to basically take money from investors and flip it.
Okay.
And so they gave us $100. Wasn't much, but they gave us $100 and we had to multiply it. And I did that. And I did it by they took us to a store. We went and we got like whatever we wanted. So I got cookies. I got Miss Fields cookies. And I got like some candy bars. And I went through this halls selling snacks, like, and everybody just really respected what I was doing. And they remembered that about me, like to this day. They were like, I always knew, you was going to do something because you was just so ambitious in high school. And so fast forward, taking that Miss Fields cookie wholesale, I end up starting my own baking. And so I was making my own cupcakes, my own whole cakes and things like that. And that just took off and people would come to me for advice, like, because I had filed me an LLC. I had also like just started getting more into branding and marketing.
Okay.
And so from there, people will always be like, can I set up a call? So then I start doing coaching calls and I was charging like $25. Like I was charging like $25 for a coaching call because back then, this is when influencers were very dominant.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people, sad to say, but many people, because they were using their following numbers, they were taking advantage of people.
Yes.
So a lot of those stuff that they were making people pay, pay me $1,000 and I'll show you how to get your LLC and this and that. I'm like, well, the LLC only $99, so why they paying you $1,000? Like, So from there, I just felt like that it was my duty and my passion to like just pay it forward and invest in other people. And so that's basically what I did. So I didn't charge an arm and a leg. I charged, like I said, like $25. I think at the most, back then, the most I probably made it to was like maybe $50 or $75.
Man.
And people would pay it. And we did like about a 30, 40-minute call. Sometimes it would be an hour plus call. And I would just let them know, like, hey, this is what you need to get your business started. They didn't know about logos and branding colors and all of that stuff.
That is so dope, man. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people really don't understand. It takes a person that experienced it to be able to go to the next level. When God give you something, it end up expanding to something even greater than what it was. When was like that moment when you was like, this is where I need to be. This is my mission. God I'm about to just do it.
So it happened two times. So the first time that I felt that was when I started Cupcakes, Cocktails, and Culture. I started that event back in 2018. And so what that consisted of, it was like back then pop-up shops and stuff like that was very
Yeah,
trendy
they
back then.
was.
But I wanted to put a different feel to it. I didn't want it to just be like, oh, we just setting up shop at somebody's venue and y'all just come shop. I wanted it to be an experience. So I would plan months ahead. Sometime, and then once it started, I would plan it a year ahead.
Okay.
So that way I was able to secure my vendors. I was able to secure a venue space, and just have it structured, pay for all the different things that I needed, like decorations and all of that. And when I started doing that and to see hundreds of people come to something for little old me, at the time I was so shocked, like to see so many people like come and actually rock with me. And so they would come and, initially because I bake, I had it where it was just bakers on one side of the room and then there were mixologists on the other side of the room. So that's why it was called Cupcakes and Cocktails. So basically you could come get some treats, but you could also come get you a little drink as well. And then there was like people who did massages that were there. It was just different stations that you can get things done while you were there. And every year it just grew, and I had to keep changing venues because it was like so packed. And when I just looked back and I was like, oh my God, like this is what I'm supposed to do, because I was seeing so many people, because I always root for the underdogs. That's really why, like I said, I even started doing the stuff I was doing, because I knew that it's so many people, like, because they don't have the following, or because they don't know how to speak to their audience, or they don't even know how to even communicate with their target audience. They may not even know who that is. So it was like for me to be able to put them in the room to where they didn't even have to go seek their target audience. The target audience came to them. So, they were able to make those sales and make those connections. And, me explaining to them like how even if you didn't have something that could be sold on like a table or something like that, just bring, like if you was a photographer and you just wanted to get a table, you could show your portfolio, like the photos and things, that you took or whatever. And so it was just an educational thing, but it was so fun. It was fun. It was like family. It was nothing but motivation. And it was around the time, the last one that I did was around the time where Nipsey had passed.
Okay.
And so, he was talking about the marathon continuing, and I was like, I want to get to the point where I can buy a whole strip and I can have businesses and stuff inside of it. So it was a motivational thing there. And then the second time I felt that was once I had heart surgery, because I felt like for me to make it off that table, a lot of people don't have that testimony. They don't have that story. So I felt like it was a reason why God still wanted me here. He still wanted me to put out people going after their purpose. So that was it.
That is dope. So you a heart surgery survivor, and experienced that both physically and emotionally. That is like extremely challenging. And how did that experience shift your outlook on life, faith, and business?
Whew. So when it comes to life, it was a life or death situation. I grew up knowing that I had a hole in my heart. I didn't know the size of it. I knew I had a heart murmur. I remember, and I also had Kawasaki disease, which is a very rare blood condition.
Yeah.
And I remember being at Rainbow Babies and Children's. I was having a normal day at school, and then it seemed like I had got the flu. And I remember being home for like a week or two, and I started soaking up the sheets and stuff like that. And my mom, she was like, I got to get you to the doctor. Like, because initially she thought it was just, like I said, like the flu.
Yeah.
But after a while, my hands started turning purple. I wasn't able to walk, nothing. So my mom had to get me dressed, put me over her shoulder, put me in the car and take me to Rainbow Babies and Children's. And that's when they told my mom, after they ran some tests, like, one, she has Kawasaki disease. Two, she does have a heart murmur, which was so odd because typically they kind of catch that when you're younger, but they did not catch that, I guess, when I was born. So fast forward, to when I had the surgery. I initially was told that it was a small hole. But when I ended up finding out I had to have surgery in 2023, I found out that it was actually a size of a golf ball. Like that's how
Wow.
big the hole was.
Man.
So it was actually, they told me initially it was a PFO, but it was ended up being an ASD hole, which was,
Okay.
that's how I ended up having an ASD closure. And my children were the ones who basically motivated me to do this. So when it comes to the life piece of it, it was my kids saying, "Ma, we need you here with us. So
Yeah.
can you just do the surgery?" And then I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go in and do it. I didn't want to because I knew the chances, like it was
Yeah.
50-50. But I'm like, for the sake of me knowing that I'm doing it because this is something my kids wanted, I was like, let me go ahead and do it. And then when it comes to the faith side of it, it was hard
I
because I tell
bet.
people all the time, like I always be like, I ain't never been depressed. That was always my thing that I would say. Like, I ain't never been depressed. I don't know what that's like because I always have been high spirited and motivated. Nothing could ever bring me down. But in that
Yeah.
moment, in that season, I feel like so defeated. I'm like, God, why you move me here just in less than a year later? I got to go on this operating table. So everything that I've been like, because when I went there, when I moved to Atlanta, I hit the ground running.
I
um,
bet.
and so that's how I was on all these sets and things like that. And then when I found out I had to have surgery, I was like, this what we doing? Like
Yeah.
and so I had to really start. It started out rocky. It started out scary, but then I'm like, God, you got to get me through this. It wasn't even like a pleading. It was like it was a demand. Like, God, you got
Yeah.
to get me through this. Like, and He did, and so my faith got stronger. Business wise, it just made me go harder. Like once I got,
Yeah.
because when I was able to sit down, one thing about business you will always learn is there will always be a lot of people around you.
Yeah.
Some people are around you because they value what you have, and then there's some people who are only around because they want to use you for what you can do.
Yes.
And so that was something that I realized quickly. Like,
Yeah.
dang, the same people that I was out here helping and assisting, not charging, doing stuff for free, volunteering, interning, whatever.
Ghosted.
But when I was man down, then send a flower, then send a text, then see if my kids needed something to eat, nothing. So it was like, okay, that's where we at. So once I got that there, I was like, okay, now I gotta really go hard for me and mine, but I gotta do it with purpose and intention. And I
Yeah.
just can't keep on doing it just because it's just a passion for me. I gotta do it for purpose. And so that's where it put me.
Man, and it's so crazy because it's like when people really hit that rock bottom phase, people don't understand how the true colors of people appear, how your faith changes in many situations. You go through so many emotional roller coasters when you going through that phase. And it's like at the end of the day, all you can say is, God, thank you.
Yep.
Just thank you for saving me, because he didn't only just save your life. He saved everything that was surrounding you too, for you to
Definitely.
be able to prosper and move forward, because it's not meant for those people to be there.
Exactly.
Man,
Exactly.
you work in mysterious ways, don't
Yes.
he?
Yes, for sure.
Seriously, man.
sure.
So what advice you give to a woman who is navigating personal hardships and also while building something so meaningful?
I would tell them, always keep God first. Keep God first. Um, and don't give up on yourself.
Yeah.
No matter what comes, what goes, just stay the course. Because it won't always be bad. It won't always feel like the end. Um, and sometimes we have to go through a process. And sometimes we want to be in control of that. But God is the author and finisher of our faith, right? So
Yeah.
it's like at the end of the day, whatever His will is, then that's what it's gonna be. You just gotta trust and walk. You do the faith walk, He gonna do the rest. So I just would say, keep God first. Don't give up on yourself, and just stay the course.
Man, you got to.
Yes, definitely.
So what does public relations with purpose really mean to you? Because you go from owning your own business to actually helping people strategize and put their business together and everything, and now you're a publicist.
Yes.
That's elite.
Yes, it really is. So for me, I was just like, I always knew that I wanted to do this work. I knew it was something like I would watch like P from Quality Control. I would watch
Yeah.
his journey. Then I would watch I think her name is Patience or Passion. She's like Passion Foster. She's Cardi B's creative director. I used
Okay.
to watch her on YouTube. Like this was years ago. I would watch them and I knew I wanted to do something along the lines of what they did. And I was like, because I already do it for minority businesses. I was
Right.
already doing it for like those small business owners and things like that. But let's be honest, most times small business owners, they don't have a big budget. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They want to get the work done. They want to they know what they want to do, but it's going to take them a minute because they still balancing regular life, being parents, you know, working regular jobs. They don't really have the funding
Yeah.
to push that forward. So I told myself, like, when I got done with school, that I was going to just start my own agency. Like, that was something that I always wanted to do. I wanted to have, like, in my mind, I was going to have, like, a studio. And it was going to be like photographer in-house. It was going to be a one-stop shop. So
One-stop.
everything you needed to be a business owner or to build a brand was going to all be in one house. And it still will happen one day. But that was my thought process. So it's always been on my mind. But when I moved to Atlanta, it's so fast paced there,
Yeah.
and you could easily just bump into anybody, like, you know, and people can put you on if you connect with the right people.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, there is some people in the fast life where you bump into people and they imposters and things like that, but
Yeah.
you can definitely connect with some legit people. And so I had that opportunity to meet some legit people and be in some legit rooms, and I've never been scared to speak my mind or to socialize or nothing. So if I want something, I'm
Go
gonna
and
get
get
it.
it.
So, you know, I'm gonna ask questions. I'm gonna see how I can add value. I'm gonna let you know how I can add value. So, you know, I'm serious. And so that was pretty much what it was. Like, I knew what I wanted to do. I had already started doing it somewhat for the small businesses I was working with, but I wanted to go on a higher scale with it. And
Okay.
so doing that, I started like connecting with, and it was literally, it's crazy because this girl, her name was KT, the publicist. I literally had never met her in person. I found her on YouTube because, like I
Okay.
said, I was like watching stuff on YouTube.
Right.
So I went and I followed her on Instagram. And to my surprise, she didn't have a huge following. So I was like, okay, I think if I message her, she might see it. So I messaged her. She wrote me back. I asked her, like, you know, if she could take me under her wing. She was like, yeah. So she did. And then as she was taking me under her wing, an opportunity came up for an agency that was in Atlanta. And it was for me to be a communications coordinator.
Okay.
I applied. I didn't know if I was going to get it. I just applied and I did because of all the previous work I had done. So that's how I got into it. I broke into it that way and went.
I'm
from
like
there.
proud of you for real. No, because like, you know, people could be wanting to do something, but actually taking the step to actually do it. You ain't had no shame. Listen,
No.
you like, I'm coming through.
Yes, I'm like, I'm here. I'm in this big city. Like my family
Yeah.
and friends in Cleveland has always told me like Atlanta was where I was supposed to be
Right.
because of how ambitious and fast I was.
Yeah.
And so I just took it upon myself. I'm like, I got to network. I got to connect. Still never met this young lady a day in my life in person. We
Aw.
only had like met virtually. And then she knew of some agencies that were hiring. And when she saw leads, she would just send them to me. And then I applied. And because like I said, I had somewhat the experience because my associate's degree is in business marketing.
Okay.
With slightly communications. I kind of took like some PR classes towards the end of my degree program. So I had some of that backing plus just watching and
Yeah.
learning from YouTube and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, I can do this. Like, you know, and so I did. And then just being on sets too. That was another way that
Yeah.
I leveraged my connections.
Hands on, seeing it.
I was able to, because I didn't know what I was like, do I want to do production or do I want to be behind the talent? You know, and it's a thin line between that as well. So
It definitely is. So a lot of people, you know, some people are familiar with hiring a publicist. Some people don't really understand it completely. And what I've learned is a lot of people don't understand. Sometimes it takes between 2 to maybe 4 5 months for you to actually get an actual good pitch to really go through. Can you explain to people about the timeline of things and why it's such a pace? Because you know a lot of people like familiar faces in the industry. So if you have a good storyline or something that you're pitching to them, it has to grasp their attention, and it has to be with the topic what they have going on currently as well. Can you explain the process of when someone would like your services and understanding that it takes time?
yes, so I mean, typically when it comes to public relations, I always tell people it's not an overnight process. A lot of people think that, you know, when they see a person go viral on social media, that's PR. It's not,
Yeah.
because a lot of times these people are going viral on their own and on an accident. They're not even planning
Yeah.
on, they don't even know. They wake up the next day and they're like, what's going on? Like, they don't even know what's happening. And so what I try to tell people is, you know, you have to have patience. So if we start working, for me, what I can say is, and I always say, like, I be humble because everybody can get a no. But for the most part, when I send out pitches, I get a yes. But what I do tell people is it has to, one, we have to give them time. So am I expecting if I send out a pitch today to get an answer tomorrow? No. Sometimes, like you said, it could take a couple days. It could take
Yeah.
a couple weeks. You know, people take breaks, vacations, all type of stuff play a part in us getting a story landed.
Yeah.
And so I think that more than anything, you got to have patience. And I feel like you cannot put a timeline on greatness. You can't put a timeline on your opportunity, because I always tell my clients, faith is a part of our strategy. So if we working, it's faith led. Like, we gotta have faith that it's gonna land, and it's gonna land in the right spot. And if it doesn't land where we want it, then that wasn't our door. And maybe just not at that moment. It might be something else or another platform that aligns better with what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So typically, like you said, we send out the pitch and you get pitches. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? You're a platform.
Yes.
And that's why for me, when it comes to my agency, it's not just about public relations. It's also about making sure that the back end operations are together. And that's why
Yes.
I dive into branding and marketing first. I don't lead with just public relations. Yes, a lot of people come to me for that because they I done got stories landed on news and things like that. But I say, let me see what you have already. Like, let me see what you're working with. So if you don't have any of your branding together, you don't have a landing page or somewhere for them to go to look at your work or your
Yes.
brand or your mission, then we need to handle that first.
Yes.
Because a lot of people want a publicist, but they don't have nothing to publicize.
No, they don't.
So it's like, you know, if you want something publicized, then we need to get that back in together. We need to make sure that you're solidified. Because if I take your story to the news, you know how many stories they get a day? And that's another thing
Man.
people don't understand. Like, you know, you got to make sure that what you're talking about is bringing impact. That's why I'm all about social impact, and I'm about lifestyle and having that mission. What are you doing to connect with your audience? What are you doing that's making a change? Like, everybody can be out here doing the same thing, but what are you doing differently?
Yeah.
What makes you stand out?
Stand
What
out.
makes them say, out of all the stories that they've came across their desk, your story sticks out the most? What is it? Because at the end of the day, we know what the news do. They make it's emotional, it's
Yeah.
informal, right? So it's like, what are you doing that's going to draw and pull on someone's heartstrings? What are you going to do that's going to make someone want to keep hearing about your story continuously? We need to know those things. You can't just say, oh, I want to go on the news because I want to go on the news. It don't work like that.
It don't.
You know, and so I think a lot of times the people who have these high expectations are people who aren't really even invested in themselves. And so it's like, you got to be real with yourself. You got to make sure that you're ready for public relations, because
Yes.
when we go out and tell these stories,
It gotta be
these
a lot.
platforms are, I mean, I'm sure you get some people you like, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to, nah, not, I don't think so. I don't think that's going to do anything for my audience.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not that what they have isn't good. It's just not a good fit for
Yeah.
your
Your audience.
platform.
Yeah.
And so sometimes the client may have a specific platform like, oh, I want to be in Essence, or I want to go on Essence, or I want to be in BT, or on their platform, or I want to be featured, you know, in Gossip or something like that. But that platform is not for you. There may be another platform that's for you.
Yeah.
It's just not the specific one that you're asking for. So you got to be open.
You
And
do.
you got to work as a team with your team of people. Like if you have a publicist, if you have any form of a strategist on your team, you got to work with them. Like they can't just be doing all the work. You got to be willing to invest and put in the work as well.
Yes. It takes a lot with investment because not only that when you pitching into them, you got to have your bio, you got to have your EPK. And with me having a podcast, you may have to have a sponsorship package.
Yeah.
Or, you know, just different things like that is so important when a branding because it's your visibility of seeing you. Having the numbers is very important. Or even press release that you have had in the past.
Yeah.
It's like different things that you have to have when it comes to branding.
Yes.
What advice do you have for individuals that are introverts and they find themselves having a difficult time with branding themselves? Because I'm one of them introverts, believe it or not. But it's difficult sometimes to be visible, especially me. I don't know. Sometimes it's hard for me to just talk, even though a lot of people want to see more of me, get to know more of me, but it is the hardest thing ever. So I will promote the heck out of my guests. But
Not
me,
too.
girl, listen, I stay behind the scenes. I like it there, but I do have to bring it out too.
I say, you know, at the end of the day, the thing about it is when you have representation, I guess it really just depends on if you're saying that this introverted person has representation or they don't. So
Yeah.
if they don't have representation, but they're trying to be more visibly seen, the thing about it is if you got all of the packaging together, like you said, the EPK, the bio, press releases, and all of that, you ain't got to talk to nobody in person right away. So you can kind of build up the momentum to get to that point. So all you doing initially is sending your stuff yourself. So, you know, you emailing, you know, you filling out a form, you networking, you know what I'm saying? Because that's really all it is. That's really all public relations is
Yeah.
just communicating and building relationships. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like if you see an opportunity on Threads, if the person say email me or DM me, you gonna
You
either
gotta do
email or you
it.
gonna DM them. They haven't seen you in person yet. They not asking you to do a FaceTime. They not asking you to do any of that. So you don't have nothing to worry about. But then if you got representation, you don't have to worry about that at all. Because the person that's representing you, like myself, will handle all of that.
Yeah.
So we play the middleman. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to handle nothing but once I set the date and time for you to go onto their platform to share your story, that's when you have to go on there and show your face. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm passionate about what I do when it comes to Purposely Public is because I know there's visionaries who want to hide behind their brands. But the thing about it is people need to know your story. They need to know your why. They need to know what made you start. They need to know why you keep going. They need to know why this is important for you to share it on their platform. So now y'all can share with each other's following and engagement, right? So that's really what it boils down to. And more than anything, I don't care if I represent an entertainer. I don't care if I represent whoever. I just want you to know that your story has value and that you impact lives. Like what you do impact lives because there's somebody sitting at home that might stumble across your podcast or stumble across your brand and they want to do the same thing. And they just need to see that you just got to start. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's just really what it is at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? We're positioning our clients to let other people know that you just got to start. You want to see change in the world, you want to make a difference, you just got to start, you know?
Yeah.
So.
I think one of the main things is like just staying in your lane, not really looking at and making it your focus, seeing other brands or other, like me, I don't really watch too many other podcasters. If I do, it's like I want to be different. I'll be like, okay, what are they doing that I don't want to do? And I want to be a lot more creative when it comes to it. Because like being different is so important, and also tapping into yourself. A lot of people have to understand like being yourself is like the greatest gift ever. You don't have to think so much about being you because you are being you. And that's like one of the main important things. And that's what I like about you. You put that out there a lot. Just somebody just being themselves, because it's like, why hide who you are when you really don't for real? You know what I'm saying?
I'm learning new ways every day to like align. I just want to be a regular person. And I talked about this on Threads.
You
I
can.
talked about this on Threads. I'm like, you can literally ask God to just be normal, and he's not going to allow you to be, because that's just not who he made you to be. Like, you just can't be normal. It's like, I just want to be able to shut everything down, but it's like as soon as I try to step away, like right now I'm in between, like, do I want to deactivate my page or do I want to keep my page
See
up?
what I'm saying?
And it's like, at the end of the day, it's like I'm always battling this, and I know that I do want. It's like as soon as I do that, it's like I feel guilt. Like I feel bad. I feel like
feel so terrible.
It's like I'm walking away from my purpose. Like so I know that this is what I'm called to do, because it's like if I wasn't, I wouldn't feel bad. I wouldn't feel icky. Like I feel weird when I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna deactivate and just go live on an island by myself and not talk to nobody. Like, and then I just feel bad, and I'm like, okay, I can't. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I know that there's at least one person that watches what I do,
and it's always that one person that say something too.
You like, you ain't talked in a long time. Like, where you been? Like, you ain't been posting. Like, you really motivate me. Like, and it's just like, really, why you gotta say that?
Like, why you ain't just stay over there?
I was like, I'm kind of like a destiny holder for you, because if I stop, then you gonna stop, and I don't want you to stop. I want you to fulfill your destiny. I want you to do what you need to do, but I know that you only gonna be motivated to do it if you see me doing it. So it's hard. Like,
it is so hard. It is so hard. It's so crazy because your professional dashboard on Instagram, girl, my reach was like 20K.
Girl.
And it was from me not being consistent and not posting and stuff. And then a lot of times I know I can get my reach higher. I know how to navigate and get my views up and everything. I'm like really good at that. And I think sometimes when I know I can do it, I take advantage of that too.
So you like, I don't gotta
Yes.
do it.
And now it's up like past 100K right now, but I find myself taking another break. So I was like, let me hurry up and post something before it go back down.
Is so finicky.
It is. It is
algorithm
bad.
So finicky. And
it's bad.
Like, once you get to the point where they're like willing to allow you to do a challenge or a bonus or whatever, it's like they make it even harder for you.
They do.
I'm like, I got so much more reach when I just had a regular account.
It's just
once
rough.
I made it a business and creator account, it just made things so much harder.
It does.
It's like they really make you work for the money, and it's like, I don't really want to do that. I already got to work a 9 to 5. I still work.
Yeah, but it's it's not even really.
It's
not even really me working for the money. It's just me just making sure people hear like what I'm putting out there, because it's like it's just so important. And that's like what's important, like about people branding themselves too. Like, you have so much that you could say, but it's like you gotta grasp a person the first 3 seconds when you are saying it, and that's a struggle.
But when it comes, the reason why I'm saying like when it comes to the money piece of it is because once they put that money opportunity out there, it makes it harder for you to get out what people need to hear.
It do.
Because now you gotta work to try to figure out how to push it out further. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just makes it harder for people to actually attract to it. And it's like, if I don't do the bonus and I do a reel, it's gonna get so much engagement. It's gonna get a lot of views. It's gonna get this,
it's
that,
stressful.
and the third. But then if I do a challenge or the bonus, it's gonna be much harder. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think,
They just be doing the
with social
most.
media, I just think just post when you can post. One tactic that I've been doing recently, like when I was posting, I still got like 3 or 4 more videos to post in my series. But basically it was just like sending it to people. Like once I posted, just sending it to about 10, 15 people and say, hey, can you share this? Can you comment on this? Can you, because whatever they do with it is going
That's
to
true.
create more engagement and more traction. So now it's hitting. So like those videos then hit 2K plus, 1K plus, like, you know what I'm saying? Just off the fact that I sent it to like maybe 7 to 10 people and said, hey, can you share this? Now they shared it. Now they people are sharing it. And now those people are coming to my page and liking and all of that. So that's the tactic that I've come up with. And then like I use the notes. So like if I post a new reel or something, I'll say, hey, posted a new reel. Can y'all go show some love or whatever the case may be? And because people are nosy, they want to see what you wrote on your note. So the conscious in them is like, oh, she said that she posted something. Let me go see what she posted. And now they like it. So that's another way.
Girl.
You got to figure out a way to manipulate it.
You're right. But it's just too much. But you know what's so crazy? I had to really like motivate myself into posting more because a lot of my listeners are audio. So I really don't have many of my listeners on YouTube because I never took my YouTube serious.
Gotcha.
I just started taking it serious probably like the end of last year.
Okay.
So now that I do have my YouTube, I have to, navigate people over that way. But people just love that audio. So it's like when I know my audience is more audio, and I used to think like, what do I need to post for?
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like, dang. But lately I can say like just posting, it has been helpful for me to get newer listeners. Yeah. So it's a catch-22.
Doing a live podcast, people will love that.
Well, you pushed me to it. Even more. So faith has showed up and as a recruiting theme for yourself and your journey from nonprofit work to surviving major health challenges. How do you keep God in the center of your hustle?
He the core. I mean, that's all I know. If I don't got nobody else, I know I got him.
Yeah.
I go to him every day. I pray in the mornings. I probably pray like 100 times a day. Like, because I might be like reacting to something and I'm like, okay, God, I repent. Like, because I'm trying to move forward. So less of me, more you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a challenge. And it's like when you ask God for growth in certain areas, those areas get tested so much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's sometimes, like, even recently where I'm like, God, okay, what's going on? Like, you said my gifts will make room for me. So what we doing? Like, what's happening? Because it's like when you have boundaries and you don't want to just take on anything. I don't want, because the thing is, I could take you know how many people inbox me or DM
I believe
me?
it.
And it's like, I just can't do it. Like the first year, I was like so hungry, like to be independent and to freelance. I was like, oh, cool, I'm by myself. Like, yeah, let's do it. But that got me used. That got me, but people ran off that, you know what I'm saying, on money that's still owed. But I didn't have everything properly set up.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Even though years back, I was telling people how to get things in order. Back then, people really wasn't worried about like trademarking and worried about like, lawyers and things like that.
Right.
But now, you got to worry about contracts. You got to have things in writing. You know what I'm saying? So those are things now that, I can teach people because I went through it and I was like, going into my second and third year, I was like, I don't want to lose out on any more money. Like, because I'm doing this from passion only. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be purpose-led because when you're doing it just from passion, you'll take on anything. Oh, yeah. You'll take on anything. And then it puts you in a bad position. But when you do it with purpose, then you can create boundaries.
That's true.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So initially, I didn't really have boundaries. I was like, oh, I work with anybody. Now I'm more like, I don't even want to deal with lifestyle brands and social impact organizations or visionaries. And mainly women. Like, you know what I'm saying? Which women has always been the core of everything. Even before I even started doing this, when I was just doing my baking and stuff like that, 95% of my customers were women. Like, you know what I'm saying? Still to this day, women, that's who follow me. That's who message me and tell me to keep going. That's who message me and say that they, you know what I'm saying, that they've been watching and they motivated. So I know that women, at the beginning, I was like, I didn't want to say that I was just targeting women.
Yeah.
But I mean, when I look at the statistics and the stats and, you know, just the history of who I've worked with, it's
That's
women.
what it is.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's mainly women, but I don't want to shy men away to make them think like I won't work with them because I've worked with men.
Right.
But mainly I work with women. So that's who my target audience is.
Man. So now that you in Cleveland for a short period of time, what are your plans? Like, what do you plan on doing while you're here?
Ooh, girl. Well, you know, I initially came home to just regroup. I went through a bad breakup and, you know, I just really needed to get my head together. And I didn't know. I was just like, I just need to start over. I cried coming back home, not because I hate here, like, because I love Cleveland. Like, you know, that's born and raised 216 all day. It was just like when you finally build a new life and then you got to like you forced to start again just to get it back again.
I know what you mean.
It's just too much. Like, you know, and for me, I was just like, I'm just going to focus. I'm going to heal. I'm going to go to therapy. I'm about to stack my money up. And, you know, I'm going to go to school. Because I'm a Capricorn. I don't know if y'all believe in horoscopes. But Capricorn women, the best way we get over stuff and the best way we get through things is we just work through stuff. So that's me. Like, I work through anything. So that was my thing. Like, oh, if I go back to school, like, you know, I ain't even got to worry about that piece of it. But it's like, no. Like, because when them breaks come, you got to deal with it.
You
like,
do.
You know what I'm saying? Once the breaks come, you got to deal with it. So for me, I think my plans is to continue building, continue rebuilding myself, rebuilding everything surrounding me, figuring out how I want to pivot with my agency, you know, the economy and the things politically going on right now is changing everything. So I don't expect people to have the funding to pay for every service that I have.
Right.
But what I do want to do is create more of an educational hub. So, you know, I'll have specific services that I'll do, like creative directing and things like that. But when it comes to the PR side of things, I want to show people how to pitch their own self. I want to show people how to be their own publicist, basically.
Right.
Like, just do it yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so that way you can be in control of the when, how, and where. Because a lot of times, if people do it themselves, they'll realize why it's important to have somebody do it.
Yes, it is.
And so that's where I'm at with it now. It's like, okay, let me offer my other services because those are more hands-on. And I actually enjoy those more. But with the PR side of things, I wanted to be more so me creating ebooks with directions and all of that type of stuff. And my goal is to just also get back to the South. Like, you know, I want to get back to the South, and not necessarily just to get back into those certain rooms, because I've been doing that. Even being back here, I've been back and forth like crazy. But more so because I just like South living. Like, I love it, actually. Like, my kids love it. Just the new smell, the fresh air.
Yeah, it's different.
I just love it. Like, you know, just being off the grid. Like, you know, I really love that. So that's my main goals, is to, you know, pivot, purposely public, continue to build me more as a woman, being a mom, and getting us back to the South.
Okay. So how was your experience as far as you being on BMF and All the Queen's Men? Do you plan on doing any more up and coming projects?
That I do love to do. I love acting. I really do love that. And I want to get back into that. That's really something that when I move back, I would do that.
Okay.
Like, you know, because it's fun. Like, I love meeting new people, and it was a great experience. It was a great time. And you know, I'm only 33. So it's like the things that I've gotten to experience and I've gotten to do. Like literally today, I was at work and one of my coworkers, she was telling me how she watched All the Queen's Men. She's blind, by the way. And she was telling me like how it describes everything to her. She like, I really love that show. And I was like, you know, I've been on there. And she was like, really? I'm like, yeah. And I told her like what episodes and stuff I was on, and she was like, "Oh my God!" She was like, "You better get out of here. You do so much, like you know." And it's just fun, like you know. Honestly, I don't lead with the stuff. Like I would let people come to me. So like even when I did like Tubi films and stuff like that, most of the time people would come to me like, is this you? Because I could sworn I seen you. And I don't know. And people think I'm lying because I said I knew you. And I'm like, yeah, that was me. Like, you know, so
That's
like,
good.
you know, it just was cool. I loved it.
Yeah.
It was a great opportunity. And how that even came about is because I told you I was a serial entrepreneur.
Yes.
So I had a clothing brand and I was sending my clothes to this guy. His name is Elijah Lamar. He's I think he's from either Akron or he's from Youngstown. He's from one of those. But he was a 50 boy in BMF.
Okay.
He had a recurring role. And he had started doing like a movie with Boosie. Like it was called Waterboys.
Water Boys.
And so he like, I got a film that you could put some of your stuff in. And I was like, okay, cool. Dropped off the stuff, and my stuff they wore my stuff in the movie. He would wear some of my stuff to the BMF, like meet and greets and stuff like that with Lil Zane and all that type of stuff. And it was just cool. So I asked him one day, I was like, how can I get on BMF? I told you, I just asked questions. Like,
You just get out there.
And he told me, he was like, it's this company called Cab Casting. Just go on their site and send them over your information or just watch. I think he said just watch for their next post.
Oh, okay.
And they literally were about to start casting for BMF. And the post came up. I submitted.
Like I'm there.
I ended up being in the Freaknik scene for BMF. And then I did a couple more episodes. And then the last episode I did, I believe is with DC Youngfly. Like, so
Okay.
I was a fantasy girl. I had like sunflower outfit on and everything. It was just fun. Like,
That's
you know,
good.
I had a great time. Like, they made us look like we was back in the day. And I just took it from there. And I created relationships.
Yeah.
And I used to be asking them, like, how can I get your job? Like, how can I do this? I just always ask questions. I don't know. I need to figure out what I need to do.
That's
so
amazing.
I can be somebody, some way, somehow. What do I need to do? So.
Yeah, and Delampo, he cool people. He did Water Boys. I had him on my show before.
So Delampo, he did a different one. So Boosie had one, and then Coke Daniels, Delapo, and I can't remember the other gentleman's name. They did their own for like NBC, I believe.
Got you.
CBS or NBC. Now I was in that one. Like I was a background actress for that one. And he ended up being a client at an agency that I worked at, Delapo.
Okay.
And then I ended up being his red carpet host when he had Delapo screening room.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a whole like
but you was there.
Atlanta, like you know. But yeah, so I was his red carpet host for his Delapo screening room. And I did I think I did it for his second year.
Okay.
Then I was assigned to be his official host. But then I ended up leaving that agency, and so that was a flop. But me and him still like follow each other. And
That's
everything,
cool.
So
that's amazing. Yeah. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
For real. So what's next? Like what you about to do?
I'm about to take a break for a little bit.
How's your health? How have you been feeling?
It's much better. It's much better. I had like a health scare like 2 weeks ago. I don't know what was going on, but like I'm on like this weight loss medication along with me working out. And I think it was just my body was
Oh,
trying to get
okay.
adjusted. And other than that, but when they like ran tests and they checked this, because I have a foreign object in my heart
Okay.
that's close to hole. So they like did like an echo, which is like, an ultrasound to just see what's going on. Because after I had my heart surgery, I ended up getting pericarditis. So
Okay.
pericarditis is just fluid around the heart sac, and you don't want fluid to get in it, but it is around it. And then like at one point when I first had surgery, it was a lot, so it was squeezing my heart.
Okay.
And so I was like dealing with palpitations because it was like irritated, and
Okay.
then like pain in my shoulders and stuff. And so I found out that I had that, and then I ended up switching care to a black cardiologist,
Okay.
and he ended up putting me on this medication called Arculus, and
Okay.
I've been on that for like 2.5+ years, and
Okay.
they're actually now, because I switched my care to Cleveland Clinic, they're actually now trying to like wean me off of it because the fluid is decreasing.
Okay.
Thank God. So
Yeah.
yep, so that's pretty much it, just life woes, just right now, just trying to figure out, like I said,
It's
getting
gonna
to my
come.
next, but being patient and knowing that God
Yeah.
is in control and releasing control of things. So that's where I'm at.
So tell me, how can people get in contact with you, utilize your services? Have you represent them? Anything?
Yes, so if you want me to represent you, or if you want to inquire about my services, you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, all Cashé Arrielle, CASHEARRIELLE. I do have intake forms in my bios on both Instagrams and on the Purposely Public Agency's Instagram. You can click that intake form, you can fill it out. Once you fill that out, we'll be in contact with you. We say release in 24 to 48 hours. And our site will be up hopefully by August. Had to get a whole new site done. I wanted people to be able to go there and actually like virtually just see what's offered and things like that. So that's currently being built out. But definitely you can follow me also on LinkedIn as well. I'm on
Okay.
LinkedIn, Instagram, Threads, and Facebook. So
Okay.
look forward to working with you all. Look forward to you all following for tips. I do post different videos and things like that
Yeah.
here and there for just informational purposes. But yeah.
Well, thank you, Cash.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate you, your knowledge, even just your testimony alone, because a lot of people see the things you do on social media, but just knowing you as a person, I think that is important for a lot of people to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to Life Heard Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and also listen to Life Heard Podcast on all major platforms.